This is blowing my freaking mind right now. What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So Makeup Revolution just came out with a new foundation, and we're gonna do a wear test, we're gonna review it, the whole shebang. This is the Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation. I have normal acne-prone skin. I don't get too oily or too dry, so let's do it. So $14 at Ulta. They have 20 shades. The shades go pretty dark according to the swatches online, but there's not a lot of dark shades. Soft as silk, light as air, powered by skincare. It's their first ever light to medium coverage skin loving serum foundation enriched with hyaluronic acid and peptide complex to plump and hydrate the complexion. Lightweight, breathable, undetectable, your skin but better feel. Apply sparingly for subtle coverage or build for that second skin effect. So I got me two shades. I got F6 and F7. So I'm gonna swatch them both on my neck. We're gonna let it sit there for a few minutes and just see if it oxidizes. I already know, I've been trying this, so I already know which one I like better, and I kind of have some thoughts already. I will say I was kind of tripped out when I first started using this because I didn't realize that it was a pump bottle. I was leaving the cap on there like an idiot and just twisting it. And I was like, wait a minute, that's a weird kind of spatula doodad thing. It wasn't a spatula, it was the pump itself. So so bottom is F6, top is F7. So you can see that there's not really a whole lot of difference between the two. F7 is just a tad bit darker. So yeah, F6, F7. Again, we're gonna sit here for a couple minutes just to see if they oxidize and darken. Alrighty, it's been a few minutes, so I don't really feel like there's a big change. There may be a slight bit of oxidation. So what I might do just to show you guys two shades in action is do one shade on each side and then we can even it up later. So I've got all my skincare on and ready to go. It's been sitting here absorbing for a long time now. And I do not use primer whenever I'm testing out a new foundation. So yeah, no primer. So yeah, starting off with F6. I feel like this texture is so nice and luxurious feeling. It almost puts me in mind of a skin tint. It's just very watery and runny, but there's something about that consistency that feels very bougie to me. So always starting it in the area where I have the most to cover up. So right down here and then working my way inward. Yeah, I don't really feel like that's too dark for me. So the way that this melts into the skin is so expensive feeling. It just completely enmeshes with the skin and there's no streaks, no transfer marks with the brush, like brush strokes or anything. Not the most coverage starting out. I would say light to medium, maybe a good medium coverage. Obviously coverage is very subjective. I feel like people don't say that enough. If you don't have a lot to cover up, then full coverage is very easy to achieve. But if you have a lot to cover up, then yeah, different story. But what I like to do with foundations like this that are more watery and thin is let the first layer dry and then go in and build it up, because I feel like when that first layer dries and solidifies, it just builds coverage a whole lot better. So we're gonna move on to the other side. We're gonna try F7 just so you can see what it looks like on my skin, and we'll come back to this side later on. So yeah, going in on this side with F7. So again, starting down here where I have the most to cover up. This one is a lot more peachy. I can get it to work. I feel like it's seamless enough to where it blends out really well, so you don't really have to worry about it being absolutely perfect for your skin tone. This is one of those foundations that is so fun to apply. It's just such a quick, easy blend. There's almost no work to be done with it. So yeah, that took about 45 seconds. So there's F7. It's very deceiving because it's so thin and watery that you don't really expect a whole lot from it, but then you start blending it out and you get the coverage. So I don't know, it's kind of misleading. I think some people will see it as a light coverage foundation, but if you blend it out the right way, I feel like you could almost achieve full coverage with this. But yeah, there is F7 and then here's F6. So when it's all said and done, it doesn't really look a whole lot different. I feel like F6 is probably a better match for me. So yeah, I feel like we've let F6 sit here long enough. So I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more. By the way, a little bit does go a very long way with this. You don't really need a whole lot. So I'm just gonna start down here once again where I have the most cover up and kind of stipple it first, and then I'll go in and kind of drag it and buff it out a little bit better. That gave me full coverage. But yeah, there are two layers of the foundation, so I would consider this to be a natural satin finish. It looks like I've got a pore filling or a blurring primer on underneath. It just looks so airbrushed and poreless, just photoshopped. It really does look like your skin, but better. It just sits on the skin in such a beautiful, realistic way. And I've got so many amazing foundations in my collection that have set such a high standard for when I try new things, but there's something about this one that's unique. I don't think I've seen one that looks quite like this one. So check-in time, we're gonna say 120. So let's focus. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my face. I'll let you guys tag along with me. I'll just put what I'm using up here in the corner. makeup breakdown will be in the description box below, but I will also link everything that I can find anyway in YouTube shopping. So just click that little button right here that says view products, and it'll pull up a list of what I've got on my face. And as usual, whenever I'm testing out new foundations, I only test them with products that I know and trust. So if something goes downhill, I know it's a foundation. I gotta say, I am extremely impressed. It is smooth, it is poreless, blurred, airbrushed. It literally looks like a filter in real life. I had no blending issues with anything on top of the foundation. Everything went on so smoothly, so buttery, and I've got no issues right now. To me, this looks immaculate. So yeah, check-in time 1:20. I will see you guys later on tonight. Alrighty, final checkout time. It is now 10:48. Check-in time was 1:20, so we just passed the 9.5 hour mark. It honestly doesn't look a whole lot different than it did when I first got done applying it. I mean, I'm not as glowy and radiant as I was. I feel like the satiny aspect to it kind of dulled down, and I'm actually pretty matte now, so I feel like the powder has really kicked into gear. I do have a little bit of oil buildup right around here, around the crevice of my nose, but it's nothing major. It's not bothering me. And I also have some fade off in my cheek products, which could change by using different cheek products or sandwiching creams and powders. Overall, my skin looks so smooth still, and it just feels so lightweight and breathable and just very thin on the skin. I have pretty much no settling into lines or sinking into pores. I do have some dryness around some texture, but I've noticed that it's just where I put the powder. And I mean, powder doesn't really play well with texture anyway, so I don't really fault the foundation or the powder. That's kind of just something that happens. To be honest, I feel like this could become one of my favorite foundations, and it's working its way up pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm impressed, and I don't get impressed very often. I want to know if you guys have tried this foundation. What are your thoughts? What is your skin type? If you like this video, if you like foundation reviews, and give it a big old thumbs up. Check out a couple more videos right here for your entertainment pleasure. Subscribe if you're not already, and turn the notification bell on to always see my stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.